Drake just pulled one of the pettiest moves in hip hop, and it blew up in his face. Not only did he try to sabotage Kendrick Lamar's biggest show yet, but he did it in the one city he thought was untouchable, Toronto. But instead of stopping Kendrick, he might have just handed him the crown. Drake didn't drop a track, he hit life, and that one tap exposed everything. As Kendrick Lamar and SZA prepared to storm Toronto with their sold-out Grand National Tour, a post started circulating online claiming they had to drop ticket prices. Instead of staying silent, Drake liked the post, no caption, no diss, just that quiet digital jab. But it wasn't slick, it was desperate, because this isn't just any show. It's Kendrick walking into Drake's city, Drake's stadium, and taking over in front of the very fans who once screamed his name. The like wasn't confidence, it was fear, wrapped in pettiness. It showed Drake isn't playing offense anymore. He's reacting, watching, trying to spin the story before Kendrick ever touches the mic. And for someone who once defined dominance, that kind of passive-aggressive energy, it's the loudest whisper of defeat. Kendrick's Toronto show may be Drake's worst fear. When Kendrick Lamar announced a stadium show in Toronto, it hit different. This wasn't just another stop on the Grand National Tour, it was a direct challenge. Drake built his entire image around the Six. It's more than home turf, it's his brand. And now, Kendrick is selling out the Rogers Center, right in the heart of it. Back-to-back nights, no gimmicks, just momentum. If you're here for the truth behind the industry, not just the headlines, hit that subscribe button, because this story, it's just starting. This is the moment Drake never wanted to see, his biggest rival commanding a sold-out crowd in his own city, and fans aren't just showing up for a concert, they're witnessing a power shift in hip-hop. The Kendrick Lamar Toronto show is more than a tour stop. It's a symbol that the culture is moving on. And while Drake trolls from behind a screen, Kendrick steps into the spotlight. This isn't a diss track, this is domination, one city at a time. Kendrick's stadium run exposes the gap. Kendrick Lamar is doing what Drake never has, commanding stadiums solo, while Drake has dominated arenas and co-headlined massive tours. He's never launched a true solo stadium run. Kendrick, he's doing it right now, and doing it flawlessly. From coast to coast, the Grand National Tour is filling venues most artists only dream of. In Toronto's Rogers Center, it's the crown jewel. Stadium tours are the true test of cultural dominance. They separate hot artists from hip-hop icons. Kendrick is showing he doesn't just have hits, he has weight. Drake, on the other hand, has stuck to arenas, and his most recent tour saw shows quietly canceled with no clear explanation. The contrast is loud. Kendrick is pushing boundaries while Drake plays it safe. And for the fans watching closely, this moment makes something painfully clear. The future of hip-hop isn't just here, it's center stage in Toronto. Drake thought he had found a weak spot, and it blew up in his face when a post claimed Kendrick and SZA were lowering ticket prices for their Toronto shows. Drake jumped on it, not with lyrics, not with a statement, just a like. But here's what he didn't count on: the receipts. Ticket data quickly shut the whole thing down. Toronto's Rogers Center is a baseball stadium, meaning it's smaller than the football stadiums used for most of the tour. Fewer seats means more demand. Resale platforms are listing tickets for hundreds of dollars, and the shows are projected to sell out back-to-back. The post Drake liked wasn't just misleading, it was wrong. And now, he's the one who looks out of touch. Kendrick's Toronto takeover isn't struggling, it's thriving. And Drake's attempt to clown it only made one thing obvious: he's watching from the outside. The Rogers Center means more than you think. It isn't just a venue, it's a symbol. The Rogers Center isn't some random stadium on the Grand National Tour. It's the arena tied to Drake's legacy, the CN Tower, the Toronto skyline, the Six. Drake has built his entire identity around this city. His album covers, videos, merch, and lyrics all tie back to this spot. And now, Kendrick Lamar is walking in, selling it out, and making it his own stage. That's not just a tour date, that's poetic warfare. Every photo, every video clip, Every cheer in that stadium becomes a piece of Kendrick's story. In the same city Drake once called untouchable. This moment doesn't just hurt Drake's ego, it chips away at his brand. Because the Rogers Center has always been Drake's canvas. And now, Kendrick is the one holding the mic and rewriting the message in front of the entire world. Drake's legacy is on the line. You don't just lose a show in your city, you lose a piece of your legacy. Drake turned Toronto into a global brand. The Six wasn't just a nickname, it became a movement because of him. But when Kendrick Lamar steps onto that Rogers Center stage, it flips everything. For years, Drake positioned himself as Toronto's king, the voice of a city that shaped his sound. But now, the biggest moment in hip-hop this year is happening without him. And worse, it's happening in spite of him. Kendrick isn't just performing in Drake's city, he's thriving in it. 2 sold-out nights, stadium energy, no co-headliners, no gimmicks, just raw presence. And every time a fan screams for Kendrick under that skyline, it echoes louder than any lyric Drake's ever written. Because when the city starts cheering for someone else, your legacy isn't just challenged, it's rewritten. Social media shade can't beat a stadium stage. Drake's fighting with memes, Kendrick's responding with moments. That's the difference. While Drake lurks on Instagram, liking petty posts and sending subliminals, Kendrick is out on the road, commanding tens of thousands night after night. The contrast couldn't be clearer. Drake's beef has gone digital, passive, indirect, and always behind a screen. Kendrick's battle, it's physical, live in front of screaming crowds, cameras flashing, and a mic in hand. No posts, no filters, just presence. Drake's always been a master of online narratives, but this time, it's not working. Social media can't drown out a sold-out stadium, and as Kendrick steps onto that Toronto stage, the one Drake tried to claim as his own, the message will be impossible to ignore. Attention spans scroll past posts, but they remember performances. Kendrick's not talking about power, he's showing it, and right now, he's doing it better than anyone else. The silence says everything. Drake's not responding, and that's the loudest part. Ever since Kendrick dropped his brutal diss tracks, fans have been waiting for Drake to fight back. But after all the smoke, there's silence. No track, no rebuttal, just online whispers and a like here and there. And while Drake stays quiet, Kendrick keeps moving, performing, creating, dominating. That silence isn't strategy anymore. It looks like surrender. In battle, when the opponent goes mute, the crowd doesn't wonder if he'll answer. They start asking why he won't. Drake, the man known for precision-timed comebacks and calculated jabs, is suddenly letting the narrative slip. Every night, Kendrick hits the stage without a response. Is another moment where Drake looks less like a leader and more like someone who's been cornered. The mic is still open, but Drake's not grabbing it. And in hip-hop, that kind of silence, it echoes like a loss. This isn't just a concert, it's a cultural shift. Kendrick Lamar's Toronto concert feels less like a show and more like a moment in hip-hop history. For years, Drake has been the face of modern rap, especially in his hometown. But when Kendrick steps onto the Rogers Center stage, he's not just performing, he's redefining the power structure of the genre. This isn't about one diss track or a few viral tweets. It's about presence, about who the culture rallies behind. Kendrick's concert isn't just selling out seats, it's selling a message that lyrical integrity, stage command, and cultural weight still matter. The Grand National Tour is turning into a coronation, and this Toronto stop is the crowning moment. While Drake watches from the shadows, Kendrick is leading from the front. And when the lights go down and the crowd roars, everyone will know this was the night everything changed in the Drake versus Kendrick Lamar saga. After the show, nothing will be the same. When Kendrick Lamar walks off that stage in Toronto, something will be different. Not just for him, not just for Drake, but for hip-hop itself. This isn't just the climax of a feud, it's the moment that cements a shift in legacy. Fans will leave the Rogers Center with videos, memories, and proof that Kendrick didn't just survive the beef, he owned it. Meanwhile, Drake won't just be dealing with public perception. He'll be facing a hometown that watched someone else take the spotlight in the city he once ruled. You can't undo that. And when the highlights roll and the headlines hit, People won't be asking who won the beef. They'll be saying, "This was the night Kendrick became the king." And for Drake, the question won't be how to respond. It'll be whether it's already too late to take the throne back. This moment wasn't built on clout, it was built on clarity. In the heart of Toronto, under the skyline Drake made famous, Kendrick Lamar would deliver a message the whole world could hear without saying a word. While Drake sat back throwing digital jabs, Kendrick stepped up and took the mic, the crowd, and possibly the crown. And no matter what happens next, one thing is already clear. This show changed everything. The stage isn't just where Kendrick performed, it's where Drake's dominance began to fade. If you've been following this story, you know it's bigger than bars. It's about legacy, power, and the moments that define careers. Subscribe now if you're ready for what's coming next, because this isn't the end of the Drake versus Kendrick saga. It's just the turning point. And trust me, the next chapter is going to be even louder.